How's it going, everybody, and welcome to another Skyrim video. Now in this video I'm going to be showing 12 different ENBs. Each ENB will be unique and different to the other ENB. Some ENBs wouldn't be ENBs that I would use, but just because I wouldn't use them doesn't mean that you wouldn't use them. I'll be talking about each one as I show them, and I will have links in the description of each ENB. As I said, there will be 12 in total. Now, before we get into this, as always, I will ask that you hit like on this video if you find it at all helpful and you think about hitting the subscribe button. That way you'll know when I upload and it will help my channel grow, obviously. So, some of these ENBs will be ENBs that we already know, like Rudy, etc. And some are newer, as in, like, I think there's one or two that only came onto the Nexus about 2 weeks ago, and then there's one or two that came on about a month ago. So the first one we're going to show here is one that's called Saturated Fantasy ENB. One thing about this mod is it is heavily saturated. Obviously that is the title. I had to mess around with the settings. It's very performance heavy, so obviously having ENB helper is necessary. You may have to change some of the gamma settings or some of the saturation settings or the contrast settings to try to get it to work if you really wanted this type of ENB. Again, it's a newer one. It's not a terrible ENB, but it's not a great ENB either, in my opinion. The next one up is one that's called Clarity ENB. This is another one that's fairly new to the Nexus. It's actually a pretty decent ENB. They're going for like a fantasy effect with it, so you can see like it's very green, very bright. All around though, it's a pretty good ENB. Like the lighting's pretty good in it. I've played around with it for about an hour in game. It's pretty decent. The inside is pretty good, outside's pretty good. It's a solid one. It's not too bad FPS wise, so it's not heavy on performance, at least on my system. At the same time, you have to understand that I am running a ridiculous amount of mods, so some ENBs are quite heavy. Next one up is Damien's ENB. Some people like this ENB. I'm going to come straight out and say I'm not a big fan of it. It goes for that kind of cross between semi-realistic and fantasy effect. So I don't know, I'm not really that into it. It gives like this blurred effect and the difference, and it's extremely performance heavy for some reason with the mods that I'm running. Like we're talking up to 10 FPS lower, sometimes 8 FPS lower. When you download it though, there are packages where you can go high quality, medium quality, low quality. Next one up is another newer one that I found. It's called Hazed Reality ENB. So this one is both an ENB and a ReShade, and it's overall like it's pretty good. You can see it here, like it's very clear. It's not too yellow. It's not too colorful. It's just very natural, and as I describe it, it is very realistic or semi-realistic, I should say. But yeah, all around it's a decent ENB. It's bright enough. It doesn't have a lot of god rays. That's kind of one thing I would kind of say. Like it doesn't have a lot of kind of sun rays coming through, which kind of lets it down being a Skyrim game. But you know, each to their own. We're on to my favorite ENB, Rudy. I love this ENB. It's just great. I just love it. I don't know why I love it so much. I just think it's great for Skyrim. I think it looks great. I don't know. I'm a fanboy for this one. But yeah, no, I really like it. It gives Skyrim like that kind of rustic, authentic type of feel to it. Like it's how I'd imagine that Skyrim would look. Like down to the color of the stones on the road, the color of the trees, the grass, etc. Like that. Even the mountains. I just like how it looks. It's my favorite ENB, and it has been my favorite ENB for a while now. But yeah, Rudy ENB. Again, there'll be links in the description for all of these. Next one we have up is actually another newer one on the Nexus. It's called iiENB. This one is, they're really kind of going for the fantasy effect here with this one. That's how I feel about it. They do say in the description the typical semi-realistic fantasy approach, but I think it's heavily fantasy. Like the grass is so green. Like when you compare the grass even to the trees, it's a really bright green. And as I said, like, this is a quick showcase. Obviously, as you play through the game, you'll notice it more and more. Some people really like this type of effect, this type of real green, bright, open ENB. So if that's what you're into, iiENB it's a good solid performer, and you could always add reshades to it if you wanted to. The next one we have up is Meanness ENB. Again, this is one that I just found today. I don't know how long it's out off the top of my head. It's not a bad ENB, as in the general color palette of it is really good. The lightings, again, it's a solid ENB, but it does seem to be more performance heavy than the likes of Rudy, which would be a reason why I wouldn't use it over Rudy. The other thing is character kind of, I don't know, my character face looks weird. Now that could just be a clash with whatever character facial mod I'm using or character overhaul mod I'm using, so I don't want to take points away for that, but yeah, it's strange. This one looks like I downloaded it wrong or installed it wrong, but this is actually how this ENB is supposed to look. Basically, it's supposed to make Skyrim animated and cartoony. That's what it's supposed to do, which it definitely achieves. You know, like the roads look like they're made of like children's putty. You know, I don't know. I'm not a big fan of it. I know some people are really into this kind of stuff. Like it just feels like a, I don't know. It's strange. I get like this weird like Legend of Zelda feel off it, but if it was on like Nintendo 64, you know, I'm not a big fan of it. This one is one again that's been around forever. It's Natural Realistic ENB. Everyone knows about it. It's basically doesn't really affect your performance too much. It will more than likely be unnoticeable FPS wise unless you're running a ridiculous amount of mods like I am. It's a good ENB, it's bright, it's semi-realistic, it's nice, it's not over the top, there's not too much glow. It's just natural realistic ENB, it's solid. It's a good solid ENB. This one is a new one that I found. Again, I don't think it's on the Nexus that long. It's definitely not longer than a year anyway. It's called Sin Extreme. I've never used it before. I used it today for the first time, and it's actually pretty nice. It's probably got, as usual, my videos are probably gonna look crap on YouTube. I've just accepted that at this stage. But this one's pretty good. I like this type of Skyrim. I don't like the big fantasy god ray effect to Skyrim. I feel like this is how it should look. It should look more rustic and dated and darker and grimmer. That's how I feel like it should look. That's just how I feel like it should look, basically. But yeah, I really like this ENB. Not as much as Rudy, but I still really like it. This ENB, this one is dark, and I've tried to make it not dark. It is dark. Now in the description they say it is a dark, cold ENB, but like right now, this is like, so basically this is the same save as all the other ENBs. So same time of day. It's like I think it's 11 or 12 a.m. 11 or 12 in the day. Same weather as all the other ENBs. But yeah, it's so dark. Ironically enough, though, nighttime's not too bad. It's still very dark at night, but it's not too bad. Like you can see, kind of. But yeah, you can see there. It's 20 past 12 in the day. I even use console commands. SW81A, by the way, is your console command for clear Skyrim weathers. But yeah, it doesn't make a difference. It's just hella dark. This is another ENB. It's another newer one. I haven't really messed around with it too much. I probably played with it for about 20 minutes, half an hour. It's called Somber ENB. It's not bad, but it is very performance heavy in certain areas. Like, so this area that I'm going through, I purposely picked this area for the ENB, and the fact that there's a lot of like overgrow forest, there's some animals around, there's a lot of textures. Obviously I'm running my roads in 8K, I'm running all my textures in either 2K or 4K, and I'm recording and gaming on the same GPU. So, like, you know, we're really hitting limits here. But yeah, that was a good ENB Somber. Anyway, that's going to be the end of the video. As I said, it was going to be a quick 12 ENBs to choose from, some different options. If you found the video at all helpful, hitting a like is much appreciated, and of course subscribing to the channel is always very helpful. Either way, thanks for watching, enjoy your day, stay safe, and hopefully I'll catch you all in the next one.